Welcome to the course Compiler Design. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about the second type of parser or syntax analysis, which is called as bottom-up parsing. So in our previous lectures, we discussed about the first technique of syntax analysis or parser, which is called as top-down parsing. So now in this lecture onwards, we will discuss about bottom-up parsing technique. So in this first, we will discuss about bottom-up parsing introduction, then some important concepts, reductions, then handle pruning, then one of the bottom-up parsing technique, shift reduce parser, then conflicts during shift reduce parser. These concepts we are going to cover in this lecture. So now let us move to the introduction to bottom-up parsing. So as we already discussed briefly about top-down parsing and bottom-up parsing during starting of the parser. So let us recall once the definition of bottom-up parser. So construction of the parse tree starts from leaf nodes. What leaf nodes contains in a parse tree? Tokens or terminals of the grammar, and proceed towards root. So what root contains? Starting non-terminal, that is starting variable. So in simple terms, that is construction of the parse tree is done from bottom to top of the tree. This is called as bottom-up parsing. Whereas top-down parsing, reverse. Construction of the parse tree is done from root to leaf nodes. Now reverse, leaf nodes to root. This is called as bottom-up parsing. Now here the input string, whatever the string, so that can be reduced to the starting non-terminal, that is root. First we will take the string. From the string, wherever the tokens or terminals are there, we can substitute equivalent variables till we will get its starting variable, that is called as root. That is the process of bottom-up parsing. So now this can be defined by using one of the kind of derivation, that is a leftmost derivation in reverse. So as usual, you can take leftmost derivation. So, but in reverse means previously what we did in any production, for example, A derives alpha. So now A is substituted with alpha. Now wherever alpha is there, now we can substitute this one, reverse substitution. In the same leftmost derivation in reverse is called as bottom-up parsing. The right side of the productions can be replaced by left-hand side symbols. So right side of the productions, whatever, those are all replaced by the left-hand side value. So this is called as bottom-up parsing. So let us check with one example. So here for the given grammar below, check the string id plus id into id is accepted or not by using bottom-up parsing. So this is the given grammar. E derives E plus E, then E derives E into E, then E derives ID. So now here, what you have to do, we'll take the string, then we have to derive its root. So that is starting variable or non-terminal. So this is called as bottom-up parsing. So now how to do this one? Let us check. In top-down parsing, what we did? So top-down parsing, by taking the production, so then we derived the string. So here initially there we have taken starting variable in the given grammar, but here reverse we have to take the string, then you can derive its root. That is the difference between top-down parsing and bottom-up parsing. Now let us check this. So now here the given string, what is the given string here? ID plus ID into ID. So this you have to take. So this is leaf. Leaves are tokens of the grammar. From this now what you have to do? We have to derive root. So that is start variable of the grammar. This is called as bottom-up parsing. So now here we have taken the string id plus id into id. So leftmost derivation in reverse. In reverse means now in place of terminal, you can substitute the equivalent substitution. So now here, in the previous grammar, let us see, we have E derives ID. So now here you can see earlier in place of E, we substituted ID. Now reverse. So what we have to do in place of ID, substitute E. Now here you can see leftmost ID substituted by E. So then plus again next ID. So every time you can apply left to right substitution, that is leftmost derivation, but reverse substitution. Now next ID, this ID. Again that can be substituted with E. Now here you can see E plus E. So in the right hand side, we are having the production. So here says E plus E. So here E derives E in place of E plus E. Now E is substituted. Now what we have ID. Now in place of ID, E is substituted. Now again E into E. So we have the production E derives E into E. So in place of E into E, E is substituted. Now you can see finally single variable is derived here. What is E? Starting non-terminal, that is the root. Therefore, the given string id plus id into id is accepted by the bottom-up parser since we derived the starting variable, also called as root of the parse tree or derivation tree. So this is called as bottom-up parsing. So construction of the parse tree that can be done from leaves to root. This is called as bottom-up parsing. So this is the example. So now like that here one more example is given. This you can practice it. So first you can take the string A, B, B, C, D. Now you need to derive S is the starting variable. So then you will get, if you will get the root, then you can say the string is accepted. Now left to right, leftmost derivation. Now in place of A, here you can see, in place of A, what is the substitution? Single terminal, you don't have any substitution. Then combination of AB, so AB also, you don't have any substitution. Then what you have to do here individually, we have the substitutions for terminal B and terminal D. So for A, there is no individual substitution. Now what you have to do for B, you can substitute. Now A, now B, terminal B substitute with variable A. Now I will substitute here A, then B, C, D, E. Here what is the substitution I used? A derives B. Now in place of B, A is substituted. Now AA. So AA also we don't have. Actually you need to derive AA, BA. Then you can substitute yes. So then what you have to do next, again B is there. So in place of B, if you can substitute, again you will get A only. Let us see what will happen. Now A, so again A, C, D, E. Here again what we substituted, A derives B. Now next you can see, if you can take A, C, D, E also. So you don't have any substitution. So now let us see in place of D, if you can substitute B, what will happen? Or in place of A, again you can substitute B, what will happen? So like that, if it derives, let us say parsing, the string is accepted, otherwise it is not accepted. Now here you can see small a, terminal A, terminal A, you don't have any substitution on the right hand side. Then terminal A, small c, small d, also you don't have substitution. But here you can see, so earlier, yeah, we did one mistake here. ABC, let us see. Variable A, terminal B, terminal C. We have substitution A. So now here, we can substitute, this will becomes A, now capital A, DE. Here, what is the substitution we used? A derives ABC. Now, in place of ABC, A is substituted. Now, what we are having? A, now D. So, for D, you can substitute B here. Now this will becomes A. Now D becomes B, E. Now here what you substituted? B derives D. Now here you can see terminal A, variable E, terminal E. For this the substitution is yes. So now here you will get yes. So now here S derives A, A, B, E. So what is S here? This is the root or starting variable. Therefore, the string is accepted. So here the given string is accepted through this bottom-up parser. Like that you can do the bottom-up parsing. So now let us move to next some important concepts before proceeding to the techniques of bottom-up parser. The first one is called as reductions, also called as handle. So how to define reduction or handle in bottom-up parsing? So let us see. Bottom-up parsing is the process of reducing a string, let us say W, to the start symbol of the grammar. Just now what we discussed. So at each reduction step, a specific substring matching the body of the production that is replaced by a non-terminal, which is in the left hand side of the grammar. So that is at the head of the production. Suppose in any grammar, E derives E plus T. Now left hand side E is called as head. Now right hand side is called as the body. So now in place of body, you can substitute the left hand side head. So every time whatever the substring we are replacing, that substring is called as handle or reduction. So the key decisions during bottom-up parsing are about when to reduce and about what production to apply as the parser proceeds. That is the key decision during bottom-up parsing. So now formally how to define this handle or reduction. Let us see the definition. If there is a rightmost derivation of the form, S derives under asterisk 0 or more steps alpha A W, which derives alpha beta W. So now here, then the string beta in ith right sentential form, that is alpha beta W, is called as handle or reduction. So why? Because here in place of variable A, what we substituted beta. So now this alpha beta W is the handle or reduction. If there is a production of the form A derives beta, such that here beta is replaced by A in alpha beta W, which results the previous production, that is alpha A W, which will be in the I minus 1th right sentential form. So this is called as handle or reduction. So with that handle or reduction, if you can substitute, again you will get previous right sentential form. So let us see one example. Previous example only you can consider. So here we have taken the same string ID plus ID into ID. So every time we underlined one string or one symbol in the string, that is being substituted by the variable, that means head of the production. Now here ID is substituted with its header, that is E. Now here again next ID is substituted with its header E. Now E plus E is the right sentential form, that is E plus E, that is substituted with head E. So then again what you will get, next ID is substituted with its header E. So then E into E, this body is substituted with its header E. So E. So this example illustrates sequence of reductions. The grammar is the expression grammar. The reductions will be discussed in terms of sequence of strings here. So every time whatever the reduction is possible. So that is called as reduction or handle. Now here you can see in this tabular format, clearly you will get what is handle or reduction. So the right sentential form in reverse. Now ID into ID. So now here which is going to be reduced ID. So now this ID is called as reduction or handle. That is being substituted with its header. So that is F. F derives ID. So left hand side is called as header, right hand side is called as body. So in the bottom of parsing, simply one thing you can remember, the body is replaced with its header. That is the bottom of parsing. So now, whereas in top down parsing, so the header is substituted with its body. Now here reverse. So now ID is substituted with its header is F. Now F into ID. Now which is going to be reduced. So that is called as handle. Now F is going to be reduced. Now F is called as handle or reduction. Now F is substituted with, here you can say T derives F. So F is substituted with T. Now T into ID. So next handle is ID. Now ID is substituted with F. Now T into F. So why we are substituting like this means we need to derive its root. So that is the process in bottom-up parsing. Now T into F, that is being substituted with the left-hand side header T. So now again T is substituted with its left-hand side header E. Now here you can see E is the root. That is starting variable. Start variable. So therefore, so whenever for the given string, if we can derive the root or starting variable, then we can say whatever the string we have taken, that is being accepted by the bottom-up parser. So every time whatever the symbols were going to be reduced, symbols are some sentential forms in the right sentential form. That is called as handle or reduction. Now with this, now the another concept is called as handle pruning. So handle pruning. Now the process of discovering a handle or reduction in a right sentential form, let us say R suffix n, and reducing it to the appropriate left-hand side header to get the previous right sentential form, let us say R suffix n minus 1. He is called handle pruning. Now previous step in the process of derivation, every step we identified what is the handle or reduction. Now the process of discovering a handle or reduction, each and every step in the right sentential form, and reducing that handle or reduction to the appropriate left-hand side to get the previous right sentential form. This process is called as handle pruning. For example, consider the following rightmost derivation. So now here S derives R1, derives R2, derives R3, and so on derives Rn minus 1, derives Rn. So in the right sentential form Rn and reducing it to the appropriate left-hand side to get previous right sentential form. Suppose if we can reduce Rn to get Rn minus 1, to reduce Rn minus 1 to get Rn minus 2, and so on to reduce R3 to get R2, to reduce R2 to get R1, to reduce R1 to get S. So in the reverse. So this is called as bottom-up parsing. Now S is the starting variable or root. So from right side to left side. So from string to a starting variable, that is called as bottom-up parsing. This process is called as handle pruning. So now there is another definition. There are some other definitions also. The rightmost derivation in reverse is called as handle pruning. So rightmost derivation means right to left substitution. So in the reverse means body is substituted with head. That is called as handle pruning. Then another definition, the process of obtaining the starting non-terminal means that is root with respect to tree while constructing the bottom-up parse tree by reducing the handle to respective non-terminal is called as handle pruning. These are all the various definitions of handle pruning. Now let us see one example. Same, the handle pruning is nothing but same as handle or reduction, but the process, the complete process is called as handle pruning. Each and every step we have to identify handle and we have to derive its starting variable or root. Then that is called as, the process is called as handle pruning. For example, for the grammar S derives SS plus or SS into or terminal E. Indicate the handles in the following right sentential form. So that is here the string is given SS plus A into A plus. Here the string is also consisting of variables. So whatever, so in the string whether terminals are variables we can't bother. Finally with the given sentential form whether we are able to derive its starting variable or not. If so, then the parsing is completed. That means bottom-up parser is successful. Now here you can see in the same table you can consider in the previous example whatever we demonstrated. The right sentential form in reverse, then handle or reduction, then reduction, production. So now here you can see by seeing this right sentential form, leftmost what we have SS plus. So in SS plus directly we have the substitution by the header, that is yes. So now what is the reduction or handle SS plus? That is substituted with the header, that is yes. Now here what you will get yes. So then remaining sentential forms in the string are A into A plus, remaining are same. Next you can see terminal A. For that again we have reduction capital S. Now A is the handle or reduction, that is substituted with capital S. Now this will become SS into A plus. Again SS into we are having the substitution with S. Now SS into is the handle or reduction, that is reduced with S. Now you will get what you will get here. Yes, remaining inputs are A plus. So now again A, the terminal A is substituted with the header yes. Now this will become SS plus. Again SS plus is reduced to capital S. Now what is this one? This is called a root. So that is start variable. So therefore the root is derived or starting variable is derived for the given sentence. Therefore the string is parsed with the bottom-up parsing. So this process is called as handle pruning. So now there are some limitations in handle pruning. So whenever we are substituting here one query, in which position we have to apply the substitution. If there is an error at this time, in which position we have to apply rightmost and leftmost derivation. So these are all the limitations in handle pruning. If there is an error, then which position we have to apply the handle or reduction. Then if no error also, in which position we have to apply the rightmost and leftmost derivations. These are all the limitations in handle pruning. So now let us move to various techniques of bottom-up parser. So there are mainly the following are the bottom-up parsing techniques. The first one is shift reduce parser, which is also called as SR parser. Wherever SR parser means there is nothing but shift reduce parser. So this method is used to overcome handle pruning. This technique is used. So in a handle pruning, whenever error is there, which position we have to apply, then which position we have to apply in rightmost and leftmost derivation. These are all the limitations in handle pruning. So shift reduce parser is used to overcome the limitations in handle pruning. Then the second bottom-up parsing technique is called as operator precedence parsing, also called as OR parser. It is an easy way to implementing the shift reduce parser. So easy to implement the SR parser using OR precedence technique. Then the third kind of bottom-up parsing technique is called as LR parsing, which is a general method of implementing shift reduce parser, that is SR parser. This is the general method of implementing SR parser is called as LR parsing. Then easy way to implement SR parser is called as operator precedence parser. Then to overcome the limitations of handle pruning, so this shift reduce parser is used. As per our syllabus, we will discuss about shift reduce parser and LR parser. This operator precedence parser we won't discuss. As per our syllabus, the shift reduce and LR parser only we will study. These are all the various bottom-up parsing techniques. Now let us move to, in this lecture, we will continue with the shift reduce parser also. So now shift reduce parsing, also called as SR parser, how to define. So this is an efficient way of implementing bottom-up parser using explicit stack like our predictive parser. This shift reduce parser also uses explicit stack. So now the stack contains grammar symbols and input buffer or input holds the string to be parsed. So in this parser, we start from the starting of terminals. Same, the bottom-up parsing, the concept is same in all cases. Then to get its starting symbol, that is root. So during parsing, always the handle or reduction will appear on the top of the stack just before it is identified as the handle. So during parsing, always the handle will appear on top of the stack just before it is identified as the handle. So now let us see the model of shift reduce parser. So by seeing this diagram, you can recall one is the predictive parsing model. So which is everything same. The only difference is in predictive parser, we are having parsing table. But here you can see in shift reduce parser, there is no parsing table here. Remaining all are same. So the first component is input or input buffer, which holds the input ended with dollar, where dollar is the end marker. So now this is called as input pointer to advance the input pointer to the next input symbol. Now parsing program, here parsing actions will be done. Then this is the output. Output means the parsing is successful or not. Then the stack, you can see what it contains, grammar symbols. So here initially the stack contains dollar end marker. Whenever dollar is on top of the stack, then the input contains dollar, then input is empty, stack is also empty. Now here the grammar symbols. So whenever you can identify the handle, then that will be placed on top of the stack. So remaining all the components are same as in predictive parser. So now here this is the block diagram of shift reduce parser, also called as SR parser. Here parsing table is not there. Remaining components and the model is same as predictive parser. Now here working of this shift reduce parser. First, let us see the initial configuration. What we will consider initially? Initially, we will take stack as dollar, that is empty. Then input ended with dollar, that is end marker, W dollar. But whereas in predictive parser, initial configuration stack, what we have taken dollar, yes. Yes is the starting variable, which will be on top of the stack. Now here we are taking empty stack. So here empty stack, then input followed by dollar, that is the input. Then final configuration, what you have to do, you can get a starting variable on top of the stack. So this is a start variable, then input is empty. Then only you can say the parsing is successful. So here from empty stack to you can derive a starting variable on top of the stack. Now input is dollar. Then you can say here parsing successful. Parsing successful. So these are all the initial and final configurations of shift reduce parser. Now working of the shift reduce parser, also called as algorithm. Algorithm of shift reduce parser. Now there are 4 actions in shift reduce parser. Let us see the first action in the name itself. S stands for shift, R stands for reduce. In addition to these 2 actions, we are having accept and error. Now see the 4 actions in shift reduce parser. First, shift. So what is the role of shift action in SR parser? Which shifts the next input symbol is shifted on to the top of the stack. So in the input buffer, whatever the input symbol, that is shifted on top of the stack. Now on top of the stack, wherever we are having handles, handle is combination of grammar symbols, either terminal or variables. But in that, any equivalent header is available as per the production is given. So that is replaced. Then that can be done reduced. By knowing the appropriate handle on the stack, the parser reduces this handle to the left-hand side of the appropriate production, like what we demonstrated, various examples in handle and handle coding. Then accept is nothing but the parser announces successful completion of parsing. So whenever stack contains $yes, that is yes is the starting variable which will be on top of the stack. Then the parser announces successful completion of parsing. Then error, the parser discovers an error and appropriate error message is displayed. Whenever there is no reduction is possible or there are no substitutions or allowed, then error is occurred. Then appropriate error message is displayed. So in shift reduce parser, these are all the 4 actions. So shift, reduce, accept, and error. Now let us demonstrate an example. So this is somewhat similar to predictive parser. Also, we demonstrated one example. Now let us see. The question will be like this. Show the sequence of moves made by the SR parser for the string ID into ID during the parsing using the given grammar. So here you can remember one point here, parsing table is not required in shift reduce parser. Whereas in predictive parser, parsing table is essential. So without parsing table, by seeing the grammar, then the stack and input, now here we can do the shift reduce parser. This is the given grammar E derives C plus TRT or standard grammar. T derives C into F or F, then F derives C within parentheses or ID. Now how the shift reduce parser will be done, let us see. So the actions are the sequence of moves are shown in the below table. So first here we can take the stack, then input, then action. So here action means any four, either shift or reduce or accept or error. The actions are combination of these four values only. Now initial configuration of shift reduce parser is first you can take empty stack with dollar, then input ended with dollar. The input is ID plus ID into ID. So now you can see the current input symbol in the input buffer. So then whenever the first input symbol is found, then this can be shifted onto the stack. So shift ID onto the stack. Now what stack contains? Dollar remains same. Dollar ID is shifted. Now what you have to do after pushing one symbol onto the stack, if there is any reduction, so you can apply the handle. Now ID, we are having the production F derives ID. Now ID is reduced with F. So you can substitute F in place of ID on top of the stack. Now dollar F. So this is reduced. Now whenever reduction is possible, at that time there is no change in input buffer. Now the remaining input is same, star ID dollar. After shifting one symbol means, then you can take remaining input. So then next, what is the next input? For F, also you can reduce. Why? Because finally you want T into F. For that we have reduction. Now F is also you can reduce with T. T derives F. So again reduce. Now for T, we don't have any reduction. Then what you have to do? You have to shift input from the input to the stack. Now this star is pushed onto the stack. So shift star onto the stack. Now stack contains $T into. Now here you can see. So T into. So T into also we don't have reduction. Again, we have to shift ID onto the stack. Therefore, shift ID onto the stack. Now the stack becomes $T into ID. For ID, we have reduction. So then that can be reduced with F. That handle ID is replaced with the head of the production F. So now ID is replaced with F. Now the stack contains $T into F. For T into F, for this body, we have the reduction with header T. Now that is replaced with T. Now T is reduced with E finally. So E derives T. Now you can see what is E here. This is start variable. This is called a start variable. Therefore, the final configuration. So what is the final configuration of SR parser? The stack contains $S starting variable. Here E is the starting variable. Then the input buffer is empty by showing $. Therefore, what is the action? Accept. That means parsing successful. Here parsing successful. So whenever this final configuration is reached, so then the parser announces successful completion of the parser. So the shift reduce parser is successful for the given input string ID into ID. So this is the working of shift reduce parser. That means sequence of moves made by shift reduce parser. Now there are some limitations in shift reduce parser. So one of the major important drawback or limitation shift reduce parser is ambiguity. Previously here you can see whatever the grammar we consider, E derives E plus T or T. Here you can see it has left recursion. Left recursion, then non-left factored. So in this grammar, that is ambiguous grammar actually. Whatever the grammar we considered in SR parser, that is ambiguous grammar. Therefore, ambiguity is one of the limitation in shift reduce parser. Whereas in top-down parser, predictive parser, so the grammar does not contain left recursion, does not contains ambiguity, then the grammar should be left factored, and backtracking is also not allowed. So, whereas in shift reduce parser, this is one of the limitation or drawback, that is ambiguity. So now there are some conflicts during shift reduce parser. So the main conflicts are based on the two actions, shift and reduce. So the shift reduce parser cannot be used for all context-free grammars. We may get some conflicts during parsing. The two types of conflicts that arise during shift reduce parsing are shift reduce conflicts, then reduce conflicts, that is SR conflicts, then RR conflicts. Shift reduce conflicts, then both reduce conflicts. Now how this will be implemented, let us see. The first one is shift reduce conflicts. During parsing, by knowing the contents of the stack and the next input symbol, if the parser cannot decide whether to shift the input symbol onto the stack or to reduce the handle on top of the stack, so it results in shift reduce conflict. So during parsing, by knowing the contents of the stack and the next input symbol, if the parser cannot decide whether that input symbol is being shift onto the stack or reduce the handle on top of the stack, this ambiguity, this confusion is called as shift reduce conflicts. And whereas, let us see one example. Consider the following grammar, same grammar what we considered. E derives E plus TRT, T derives T into F for F, F derives E within parentheses or ID. Let us see how this will be demonstrated. A sequence of moves made by the parser for the same string ID into ID is shown below. Now here you can see, first initially stack contains empty $, then input ended with $ID into ID. So first we are shifting ID onto the stack. Now reduce ID with F. So now here F. Now next step, let us see whether if we want to reduce F on top of the stack or whether if we want to shift star onto the stack. This conflict is called as shift reduce conflict. So now here you can see. Now observe that the parser has reached a state where it can't decide whether to shift input symbol star onto the stack question mark or reduce using the production T derives F, this one reduction. So this conflict is called as shift reduce conflict. Then second one, reduce conflict. So in this, again same, during parsing, if the shift reduce parser finds a handle on top of the stack, the parser has to reduce the handle to the left hand side of the production. But if two or more productions have the same handle on the right hand side of the production, suppose here we are having E derives T, then let us say F also derives T. So now for the handle T, we are having two left hand side headers. Now which is going to be substituted. So this difficulty is called as reduce conflict. So but if two or more productions have the same handle on the right hand side of the production, the parser can't decide which production has to be selected for reducing. This conflict is called as reduce conflict. So shift reduce means, so from the top of the stack, whether we have to reduce or not, or the current input symbol is shifted onto the stack. So which action to be done? That is shift reduce conflict. Whereas reduce, right hand side for the same handle, if we are having two or more headers, then which production is used? That is called as reduce conflict. Now let us see an example. The same grammar, E derives E plus TRT, T derives T into F for F, then F derives E within parentheses or ID. So now let us see the sequence of moves made by the parser for the string id into id is shown below. First stack empty dollar, the input id into id ended with dollar. First shift id as usual, then reduce id by f. Then so now reduce f by t. Let us see here. Now what you will get here t into id, then id is again reduced. Here t into f dollar. So now here you can see here how to handle this conflict. Now observe the parser has reached the state where it can't decide whether to reduce the handle f to t using the production t derives f or reduce the handle t into f to t. Here you can see we are having t derives t into f, then t derives f. Here you can see left hand side same header. Here why? Because whether the first one f needs to be reduced with t, the second one entire t into f is reduced with t. So this is the ambiguity. So this conflict is called as reduce conflict. So these are all the two types of conflicts during shift reduce parser. So whether shift reduce conflicts or reduce conflict can be eliminated by considering associativity and precedence of operators. So even in ambiguity elimination, we are having this method by using precedence and associativity of operators. So using this approach, we can eliminate these two conflicts in shift reduce parser. Now coming to summary of this lecture. So what we discussed. First, we demonstrated introduction about bottom-up parsing. Then we discussed about reduction or handle with example. Then handle pruning, the process of identifying reduction or handle in each and every step to derive its starting variable or root. Then that is called as handle pruning. Then one of the technique of bottom-up parser, that is SR parser. So we discussed the SR parser model, then working means algorithm. So then example problem also demonstrated. Then finally conflicts during shift reduce parser, that is SR and RR conflicts with example. These are all demonstrated. So for this, the reference is AHO to section 4.51 to 4.5. Next lecture, we'll start with our next technique of bottom-up parser, which is called as LR parser. Introduction to LR parsing. So that will be discussed in next lecture. Now I stop here.